That's a great question. Yeah, I think a lot of times they think branding is a new logo, and that's it. So I think that they think, okay, if we have a new logo, we have a slogan, we've rebranded. And honestly, I've had a lot of companies talk to me and say, hey, we want to do a new logo. We're going to talk to you and a couple of other companies. And I go, I want to help you. If you're looking at just doing a new logo, I suggest don't do a new logo. Do not invest money in it, because you've got to change all your letterhead and your signage and if you have trucks don't do that unless you're going to start first with understanding who you really are and what makes you truly unique. Because honestly, the big mistake I see, Chris, is that well-intentioned companies think if we can just change the color of the logo and make it look cooler, everything will turn out right. And it's a waste. And I truly advise companies to do none of that. I'd rather see you have a crappy, amateurish logo that you've used for 30 years. I'd rather see you continue that than just throw a brand new one that's relatively amateurish also, that you have to change in 1 or 2 years. So I think they try their best to do that. Another thing I think they don't understand that we try to help them with is in the way they either conduct their service, if they're a service company, or the way they manufacture their product or design their product. They have to understand their brand itself lives inside that product. So the brilliance of what your company is about is inside those things. And you've got to stop and go, now, wait a minute, why are we doing this? I'll give you an example. We work with a family-based component company, and they do brilliant work, and they work in the stainless steel trailer industry. Doesn't sound exciting, but it is. And they create manhole covers or man lids for the top of those trailers. You see them going down highways. So you'd have to open up the lid and pour the contents in or whatever. But sometimes there's flammable contents in those. So they can be dangerous. So I was talking to the person who ran that company. He was an engineer, and I said, so what's your new design? What's your new thing? And he says, we have a brand new man lid, as they call it. I said, great. And I said, what makes it unique? He said, we spent $2 million on it, new metallurgy, and it has a latch that we've designed so that if there's high pressure in there, the latch activates so that if a person's trying to open that lid, it cannot open because the pressure's too high. I said, well, what's the result? He said, it saves lives. I said, oh my gosh. I said, do you charge more money for it? He goes, no. I said, okay. I said, have you advertised it? And he said, no, we just think our customers ought to know about it. I said, okay, what do you name that latch? What do you call it? And he went, latch. We call it latch. I said, but would you allow your children, if they were driving trucks, to climb up on a stainless steel trailer without that latch in place? He said, no. He said, I wouldn't let my kids near anything like that. I said, you've done something special. You've done something unique. You need to name it, and you need to realize this is what your brand is all about. This is what's inside your brand. You're designing things using your brilliant technology to help save people, and you're using that engineering genius to do it. That's who you are. So that's one of the things I think is so important, Chris, is companies need to realize there's some reason they've been in business for 100 years in some cases. They're doing something right, and the answer's right in front of them. So that's what I always urge them to do.